Question number 3, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr Speaker, this question is to the Prime Minister and asks, does he have confidence in all his ministers? If so, why?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, yes, because they are all highly capable.
That could well be a supplementary, but I'm about to call the Right Honourable Winston Peters. Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston Peters.
How can he have any confidence in a minister that says that the National Party will be, quotes, a bunch of wusses, end of quotes, if they pass legislation which extended the youth court age to include 17-year-olds, and someone in whom 17, not your age,
Order. Bring the question to a conclusion.
Yes, which extended to the youth court age to include 17-year-olds and someone in whom the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Health appear to have no confidence at all.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I know the member's worried about the youth age being lifted to 70-year-olds because it would include him, but he should rest assured that I am very confident he will stay out of the court, having done so for the last 69-something years.
Supplementary question, Speaker.
Order. Supplementary question.
Prime Minister, how can he have confidence in his Finance Minister when plainly the Minister of Police, the Minister of Health and a host of others have no confidence in him?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, firstly, that's patently untrue, and secondly, because Bill English is respected around the world as one of the best finance ministers, and rightly so. He's led an economy that is back in surplus, that is growing rapidly, that is seeing wage growth, that is the envy of the Western world, and that's why he's acclaimed in the manner that he is.
Supplementary question.
Order.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston
How
Peters.
can the Prime Minister have confidence in the Health Minister when clearly the Minister of Police and the Minister of Finance and a host of others in the caucus have no confidence in him at all?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, it's not true. The Minister of the Police and the Minister of Finance have great confidence in the Minister of Health. See, the difference on this side of the House is that we actually have a capable caucus where we actually know each other and like each other. It's quite a bit different over there and over there.
Supplementary question, Speaker.
Order. Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston Peters.
How can he have confidence in his Social Housing Minister when she clearly doesn't have any confidence in herself?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I think you can say a lot of things about Paula Bennett, but she has enormous confidence in herself. Trust me. Anyone who hosts a pirate party and does so late into the evening has tremendous confidence in themselves.
Supplementary question, Speaker.
Order.
Supplementary question, Speaker.
Order. Supplementary question, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
How can he possibly have confidence in all his ministers when all we're hearing from his answers and from the spills coming out of caucus is terrible instability, feuding, backstabbing, fighting, all sorts of secret calls, so much so that it's fallen to New Zealand First to look like the epitome of stability?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, when you have a caucus of one, it's reasonably easy to be stable. But Mr Speaker, the member may have noticed that on Monday, last time you held up a sign that said no and it should have said yes.
Order.